Hello everyone, welcome to Unicorn Light Tarot. Sincerely hope everybody is doing amazingly well today. Welcome one and all, whether you are returning or brand new, or this is the first time you have ever clicked on this video. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today we are doing your reading. What do your guides want to reveal about your future? So we'll be doing some kind of predictive reading, whatever it is you are ready to understand and know about your future. We are going to be checking in with your guides today. As always, if you've been with me for a little while, you know we always have magic candle going on in the background with a little bit of extra vavum oil for health and abundance and beauty, so you can use these readings as activations, as healings, as any way that you choose to see them, and of course for support and for the information. So as always, we have 3 piles, and today on pile 1 we have the beautiful amethyst here, prism, and then we have the clear quartz on pile 2. And then we have this gorgeous tiger's eye on pile 3. So as always, take as much time as you need to figure out which pile is yours. Get your energy in alignment with your badass self. It's all about you. The more aligned you are with your own energy, the more these readings will resonate. And if they do not worry, come back, choose another pile. Just means the message wasn't for you this time, but keep coming back or choosing another pile. Chances are you'll find something for you on this little treasure hunt. So if you need to go ahead and pause the video as always to just breathe into your good self and just come back into your own energy. Take as much time as you need. As always, the timestamps will be down below. So let's just take a moment, take a lovely deep breath, and release what no longer serves you. Hopefully for good, but at least for the next 10 minutes while we get you some beautiful messages. So let's go ahead and move these out of the way for now. So if you chose pile 1 and this gorgeous amethyst, then this reading is for you. And again, what your guides want to reveal about your future in this present moment. Whatever message you are ready and open to receive is what you will get today. We will start off with some tarot, with some oracle cards here, and finish up with some tarot with some more information. So let's get right into your reading. What do your guides want to reveal about your future? Ooh. Instinct, wolf. That is your first card. Let's see. Impasse. Okay. Interesting. Okay, and then you have the pillar of light. Your vibration is rising. You are the oracle. Now, initially this was reversed, but let's leave it up here for a minute while we get you your messages, pile 1. Okay, well, the first message that we're getting about your future, which is very much in the present now, because we are creating our future from our present. So if we're in the present moment and we're not carrying any of our past, we're creating a brand new future, brand new timeline. That's your first message. Stay doing that. Concentrate on that. And also the main message that we're getting for you is to trust your instincts. Pile 1, absolutely trust your instincts and know that the path is laid out for you. Your guides want to remind you of something that's very important, and we often forget this. Whatever is meant for you in this lifetime, you will receive it. Now, we all have free will. Earth is a free will zone. You can run away from it if you want to. No one's asking you to stay where you feel as though you don't want to. You can do whatever you want, but there are certain things that have been laid out, certain situations, certain people that have been laid out for you as part of your blueprint. And this is what you're here to do on Earth. Now, these things will be achievable. You will achieve them. They are for you. If something is for you, you don't need to worry about it. It will come to fruition. It may look slightly different to whatever it is you thought it would be, or whatever it is that it would feel like, but it feels like the message for you, pile one, is to stay the course and have faith in yourself, knowing that you are in exactly the right place. You are on the right path to getting what it is that you want. If there's any doubt whatsoever, or if you're sort of, holding your hands up going, I don't know what the next move is, it's okay. It's absolutely okay. So there are a few things going on for you. Some energy is coming in and around you that's coming to dissolve something that's been on your mind that you want to move through and you want to move past. Now, we'll get some more clarity on this. It's not necessarily anything from your past necessarily, but it feels as though there's energy that is being worked. Okay, all right. So we've got some ancestors' generations here. Okay, so you've worked on the bloodline of your ancestors all the way through. So this is work that you've taken on yourself. Let's see if this is a little, excuse me, it's just a little off kilter there. Let's bring you back to kilter. So this is work that you've been doing, and you've done the majority of the work. So here's the thing. So your guides are coming in, and your guides are your ancestors. You have many different guides, but your guides are your ancestors, pile one. And it's actually really, really beautiful messages. So what they're doing is they're healing and integrating the grief. There's some grief that's going on, that's coming up for you. It might be coming up in slightly different ways for different people, for everyone. These are general readings, obviously. Now, it could be a grief of a person, a loss of something, a loss of self, whatever it is. It'll mean something different. This message will mean something different to each of you. And because you've been doing so much work with your ancestors, you've actually cleared a lot of that bloodline. Now, what's happening is that your ancestors are coming in and they're actually supporting you and holding you up in as you move forward. So it may feel as though you're at some kind of impasse where you're standing where you are, maybe crossroads. Our beautiful Hecate here, our lovely goddess, can help you there. She's the goddess of witchcraft, but also the goddess of crossroads, making a decision, moving in the direction, moving across into your path. But what it is that's happening is that because everything that you've gone through and everything that you've released, it feels light for so many of you, but it feels so light that it's almost like you're sort of taking off in a way. And this is just a little bit of time getting ready to ground you and pull your roots down into the ground. So when you ground into the energy of the earth, you ground into your life and your path, and you see things sort of in a brand new way. And that's really how new beginnings happen. We shift our mentality, we shift the way that we think, and we create these new realities for ourselves, because everything that we believe and see, we've created as a reality for ourselves. So you're creating a new reality for you right now, and that's a beautiful way to be. So coming into that pillar of light and that strength, you've used a lot of that light and that strength recently to sort of be a catalyst for all the old as you're releasing. And also, as we said before, you may be feeling a little light, a little disconnected, even sort of tingly. And in that moment, it doesn't feel as though you're connected enough to your path. So it may feel as though you're a little bit lost, or you don't know the next step. And all of this is perfectly fine. Also, part of this is a little bit of illusionary too, in a way, because the veil is about to lift and you are about to see everything coming towards you in a very, very good way. And you're going to be able to use and utilize your energy differently. For those of you who've been up and down with your energy too, with exhaustion and sort of some sleep patterns have been off too. You might be sleeping a lot, might be exhaustion. Ancestors are coming in because you've done all of that work. They can come in and support you in brand new ways. And a lot of you have a lot of these different gifts, clairaudience, clairsentience, but you can shift into sort of a shamanistic way of, in meditation, you can actually speak to ancestors. They can come in and like physically speak to you. And, I don't want to freak any of you out, but most of you, some of you too, you'll be able to take that in the waking day. So when you go into meditation and you're very specific about who you want to speak to, you can bring them in. So you're a channeler. And this is something that you probably realized already, but you will be able to challenge them in your waking day too without having to go into sort of a meditative state. But this will be coming in and around you. So this energy is in and around you, and you know that you could do this to a certain level. You may have pushed it away because you were a little bit frightened, or sometimes these gifts come in at a really inopportune time and you just don't have time to develop them. You feel overwhelmed by them. And that's perfectly fine. You're absolutely grounded enough for all of this energy to come in. You are using this energy as catalyst, so you're definitely alchemists in this way. But the most important thing is that your ancestors are working with you because they've been healed. They want to thank you and offer you a certain amount of support. And the messages that I'm getting are really beautiful because each one of them is offering a gift to you. And some of it's going to be in the physical world, and some of it's an attribute, something beautiful, a trait that they had, something that they had that lives within you, and it's being activated within your DNA. So that's why you might be feeling a little exhausted, a little disconnected, not necessarily feeling as though, oh, woe is me, I don't know what's going on. Although when you let the head in, and of course when the ego and the head start, trying to make sense of things, it often, God love it, it often gets a little dramatic and blows things a little out of proportion. So you might have gone there with your mind a little, what's going on? I have no idea. I'm so lost. Woe is me. But then you pull yourself back and you're like, I don't really feel that way. I do feel as though something brilliant is happening. I do feel as though I'm on the verge of something big. And so in this moment, you're being asked to work with your guides that are your ancestors and to really accept these gifts. Some of you are not on purpose sort of pushing away the gifts, but because you're so intent in moving forward and figuring out the next step, maybe your ancestor coming in and they're trying to knock on the door and you're like, oh, I don't have time to open that door. So they're there for you. They're offering up these beautiful traits, and you probably have these traits already. They're coming in to be pronounced in a way. So when they're integrated, they become pronounced in your DNA and in your personality, and they cannot be ignored in any way, shape, or form. And these are wonderful things. Now, you may have seen when you look back on some of your ancestors or some of your traits, oh, I get this from that and this from that, and you've been able to figure out. But, for some of you, it's been like, I'm not so happy about that I inherited this from X, Y, and Z. I do notice this in myself. I'm gonna work around it. It's not always been, not negative in any sense, but it's something for you to figure out and unravel. These are pure gifts coming in. So let's see what's actually happening, because this is what's going on for you right now. So your vibration is definitely rising and you're solidifying in a new way with these new gifts that are being interjected and again incorporated into your psyche, and they're really strong. I mean, you have some incredible ancestors, and this you knew. Let's move this up. This you knew already because you've been working on that family line, whether you realized it or not. Because you came in at this time, a lot of the past that you wanted to deal with and you wanted to move through for on a very personal form, personal to you, actually are bloodline related. So when you worked on yourself, you worked on your ancestors. But for some of you, it's been deliberate work, working with the DNA, working with your ancestors. It's something that it wasn't incidental. You realize that this ran down the family line, and this is something that you didn't want to keep going in future generations. So this was important work. And you did realize that your ancestors, your family, were extremely powerful because of the load, the barrier that you were carrying. So you were well aware that they were extremely powerful. So doing this work was very powerful. But this is the other side of the work. They're coming in now to support you in new ways. And they're also asking how they can help to bring in physical, in the physical, in the external world. They want to connect you to the external world in a brand new way, in a very powerful way that cannot be shifted anymore. It feels as though, when they're holding on to you, you can sort of blow away with the wind and this, that, and the other. And it can be very tough when you're working on yourself to really ground into your energy. And for a lot of you, you've had a lot of physical shifts, you've had a lot of spiritual shifts, a lot of ascension. And we tend to stay up in our heads a little bit more and not ground so much into our energy and into our body. So this is what they're doing on a physical form. And while that's happening, you're just getting this little boost of beauty, of little boosts of little gifts that they're offering you that's already in your DNA, but again will be pronounced. And once integrated, you will be able to move forward in a way with real confidence and real beauty. Now, it's not that you didn't have this confidence and this beauty before. You absolutely did. But because the work wasn't done on your DNA, on your past, it was it was a little bit shaky. It was almost like you were dealing with specifically a lot of persecution from the DNA bloodline. So it feels as though that even all the beautiful attributes that you had, that you believed in, you know, they weren't secure within you, if that makes any sense. They could be moved around by people. There was that naivety there too. You had a lot of manipulative people, and sometimes you just had to hide your traits. But this is coming in now, where this is solidifying. It's becoming your foundation, and then you will become like, you know, the sort of phoenix from the ashes, rising out with all of your bloodline intact, with all of this beauty from your bloodline. It's very, very powerful. So let's see the physicalities of what's going on. Nine of Cups, look at that. So they are absolutely working with you without a shadow of a doubt to create the dream life that you want. So a lot of you actually know what you want. Getting houses, safe housing, moving forward, owning your own house, moving to a new place. And also a lot of coming into meeting the right partner. So, you know, they can do a lot on the other side to actually help you and bring in the right people for you. And they want you to know that whatever you've asked for, and each one of you should really know what that is. So even if you've sort of faltered in the past or not decided that you could actually get it, or maybe it was a pipe dream, whatever it is that you've asked for, it will come to fruition. And it will come to fruition quite quickly here. I've got the Nine of Cups coming into the 10. So this, as you're moving through this energy, and this energy is really important, even if you feel as though, not necessarily overwhelming feeling, but even if you have felt as though, you know, you're exhausted and it's taking you out of the world, or you've been feeling not connected. We want you to know this too shall pass. This just, you know, you're being updated. It's almost like you're being inundated with this energy. So it can be a little tough. If you do have time to, I was going to say resurrect yourself, that will be coming later, to rest and integrate while this is happening. There's so much energy coming in and your DNA is updating, but specifically working with generations with your ancestors. But this energy is coming in. Whatever it is that you've asked for, it's absolutely coming in. Now, these are general readings, of course, and each one of you will have something different that you've asked for, but it's something where you get to have the life that you want. Let's see under instinct if we can get you some more information. Four of Wands. So a happy life, certainly. Happy family, certainly. Celebrations, a solid foundations. As we said today, a lot of you are asking to move or have a solid family home, own your own home. That's something for some of you, the energy that I'm picking up for you. That's coming in. That may come in a very sort of strange way. And for some of you, it may even come in as a family legacy. Either money coming in through family, or houses coming in through family, something coming in through family, connection coming in through family, and it will be unexpected and it shows up. But they're looking at that for you. And also, it's part of this foundation is being completely connected to your own life and feeling as though you can move in any direction and every direction will be successful. Living fruitfully from the heart, making all of your decisions from the heart, which of course is the thriving mechanism that we've had. In the past, you've worked from surviving mechanisms. We've all been there. And, you know, we choose differently when we're working from surviving versus thriving. Absolutely. And there's only a certain amount that we can, our energy is open to receiving, because when we're on surviving, we're always moving, controlling things, moving things, protecting. There's not a lot of room for our energy to expand beyond that and really go for what we want. So there's other things coming up for you too. There's a new sense of courage coming in with your instinct too, because as you move forward and as you claim this success that's already in your blueprint, and again, behind the scenes, everything's working for you. So don't worry about it. There's so much that's working for you behind the scenes that, you know, we don't want you to have to be in any kind of dismay until it comes to fruition. Then you can actually see it. We want you to know that all of this is happening behind the scenes. It's all happening. Keep your energy high and it'll come in even quicker. But also this real energy of stepping into the responsibility of this beautiful connection that you have with success and being seen and being able to have the life that you want. It requires a certain amount of responsibility, which you are ready to step into now. And it requires a certain amount of bravery too, because to be out there in the world, you know, put you out there in a sort of a vulnerable position. And the way in which you've worked before, you've been able to protect yourself. That's the one great thing about surviving. You're able to protect yourself. It does stop you in your tracks, in the growth tracks, but it does keep you protected somewhat. So what you're doing is you're leveling up now, stepping into that sense of responsibility and saying to the world, all right, I'm opening up now. I know that I can do this. And also at the same time, I have the courage to be able to do this and to be vulnerable and to be able to be out there and to deal with not everybody's going to be happy with what you do. That's just the way it is. These days, everybody has an opinion about everything, and it's absolutely fine. There's a lot of projection going on. There's a lot of interesting things going on in the external world, but you're ready to take that on before. It may have broken you before. Not in a bad way that you were weak in any way, shape, or form. You were actually really, really strong. But because you were holding so much of your beautiful energy and that sensitivity, any of that criticism before, without working on yourself and building that firm foundation, could have broken you, could have hurt you in such a way. And that's a beautiful part of you, knowing that you have that essence of your personality and that it's a superpower. Again, grounding into that energy, grounding into that beauty, and taking these gifts of these DNA gifts from your ancestors, has you step into this new power. So when people project you, that's fine. I'm done. I don't need to worry about that. And you're willing to take that risk of being out there, of being vulnerable and seeing it as a positive thing. So family stuff coming in, firm foundation, house stuff coming in, that's coming. And also, this beautiful thing that you have, this beautiful wish that you have, for a lot of it is to have your own business and do what it is that you want to do. But for some of it, it is love. It is other people coming in. So you have the Four of Pentacles here under the impasse, and then you have death. Absolutely, look at this gorgeousness here under Pillar of Light. This is death. This is an absolute new beginning. So what they're doing is they're really taking all of that old DNA and upgrading it. So everything that you had before that you may have seen as a negative byproduct from your ancestors, or something that it's a legacy that's heavy, that you've had to deal with. It's been that catalyst of working through it. So that is completely over. They've come in now in such a wonderful way. To be able to lift you up, and that's supporting. And again, we urge you, if that's the way you want to go, or if you feel as though you have that clairaudience and that clairsentience, all of that stuff, we want you to know that everything you have right now, you're ready to move forward. All you have to do is claim that responsibility and move into your new phase of life. You're ready to do it now. They're ready to. They've already been supporting you and providing this grounding for you. And these attributes that you have from your DNA, from your ancestors, they're really funny. I mean, there's a dark sense of humor, this really odd kind of quirkiness. And now that you have that beautiful firm foundation, you can really sort of be yourself without looking over your shoulder. There's sensitivities. There's a lot of sensitivity in your DNA where in the past they weren't able to show it. And in your lifetime, you could have seen it as a curse because you could not show it. But at the same time, you didn't want to. You may have repressed it or dumbed it down. But in their lifetime, they were able to repress it and dumb it down. One might say in a more successful way, but just for clarity's sake. Of course, it's not been successful and it didn't work for them in that way. But they're here to provide that beautiful insight for you, because you do have that sensitivity, you do have that superpower to be able to see the next trend, to be able to see the next way forward. You're really very much in touch. It's almost like as you look out to your life, there's these little threads, and you can pull in this thread, and then you can see the outcome of each thread. You're going to be able to see. So, there's a certain amount of seeing into the future and deliberating which timeline would be best for you. Again, checking in with your beautiful ancestors as they come in. You'll be able to speak to them as if they're actually there in the room in meditation. You'll be able to physically speak to them or feel them. So this is all coming in for you. Something wonderful is coming in for you too. So stay where you are. This too shall pass if you're in the sort of feeling a little overwhelmed. Not really, because it's a strange kind of feeling to really talk about, because there's this lightness that really needs to be grounded. But in that lightness, there's this sense of really knowing that something wonderful is going to happen, but you have no idea what it is. And when your brain gets involved, it's like tries to control it. And then it's like, oh, woe is me, what's going on? And then you feel a little disconnected from your life. And it could be, you're sleeping at weird times, or just exhausted or something. Again, your DNA is being activated in such a way. But the fact that you're even here, where your DNA can be activated in such a way with this beautiful energy from your ancestors, shows how much work that you've done already. So you have everything you need to move on to the next stage. Allow the stage to happen though, because something is definitely falling away, to allow for this lightness to come in, and within the lightness, brand new possibilities come in. And you're being grounded into that foundation of this new lightness coming in. So, didn't get real specifics for you, Pile 1, in some ways. Dreams coming true, and definitely sort of building that foundation with a house and family, and that significant other too coming in for love. That's coming in for you. The foundation is setting the stage for all of this. But there's something from the external world that they're bringing in for you, but they want you to concentrate on you getting there just by being you and really celebrating all of this stuff. So if you're in the mind to, go back memory lane in a good way, you're being advised that this would be a wonderful thing to do, to remember some old times, go through old movies that you used to see, or old photographs, this, that, and the other. A lot of things that might be coming up too, where you'll just be sitting there and all of a sudden tears, weeping. All of this is normal too. It's the grief leaving, all of it leaving. As we say in this channel, don't go down the rabbit hole. There's nothing more that you need to do. You've done a lot of this healing already. This is just a culmination of everything coming together. But as things release once and for all, you might sit there and start weeping that you're so happy to be alive. It sounds a little bit weird, but all of this stuff is coming into you too. It's this dichotomy of being grounded but feeling like you're lifted up. Doing this deep, ugly crying, but also feeling so connected to the earth. And for the first time, you can actually see what you're here to do in this lifetime. It's a really beautiful thing. But yeah, expect these beautiful miracles coming in, and they definitely want you to know that they're making these connections. Sort of, they keep saying behind the camera. Some of you might be in front of the camera yourself, either in a photography way, or just it could be in the limelight one way or another. It's all about you getting out there and integrating your voice into the world and being seen. So however each one of you is doing that, but doing it on your own terms, without a shadow of a doubt. So let's get you finishing up a couple more cards from our star seeds here. Oh, this one popped out. Raise the vibration of the planet through your radiant, loving light. Absolutely. And that's what you're doing too. You're definitely here to do this, and you're definitely here to integrate your voice and be able to raise the frequency. You're doing this on your own terms. In many ways, before, what you've done is that you've worked so hard to raise the energy of the world, especially in the last 18 months, that kind of starseed. You're definitely a starseed. You're an alchemist. Very, very powerful with energy. Again, very powerful ancestral line. For those of you who are like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I chose these parents in this lifetime, this family. What was I thinking? Very, very powerful generational line that you've come in with before. This is not your first rodeo with these people. So that's one of the reasons why. But this is for you to come back into yourself, shine the light on yourself, and allow for, you've had these, what we call mini deaths many times before, these, and then something new has happened, and then something else comes up, and something else comes up. So, and this has been happening for you, and some of it could have been slightly frustrating for you too, because I've done this, I've moved through that, and that something else comes up, something else comes up. This is a spiritual death. This is not a real one. This is a spiritual death. This is not going back. This means a brand new beginning. This is a huge integration somewhere that you've never been before, and this energy is not coming back after this fact. So concentrate on raising the vibration of yourself, which means that when you're secure and you move out there, whatever you do, you will be raising the vibration of the planet, absolutely. And it should go without saying that while you're in, what stage you're in at this, protect your energy from the external. But, honestly, we would say at this point, there's so much strength in and around you that you'll notice that so much of the external isn't really getting at you or goading you in the way that it may have before. And that's because you've got the solid layer of activation in and around you. They are really standing around you and protecting you in such a gorgeous way. Let's choose one more. Transcendence. Transcend your mind's limitations and allow your soul's light to truly shine. Now that's exactly what you're here to do in this lifetime. Let's see if you can see that. That's what you're here to do in this lifetime. And you're being directed in a very specific way in order to bring that into fruition. So don't worry, you're not flipping and flailing all over the place like a fish out of water. Even though you might feel as though that's happening right now, it's not. You're going to be fine. There is a specific path coming up. If you feel as though you're ready to move forward and you're feeling that strength and you're feeling grounded in your own energy, go into meditation and ask for your next step. And just take that baby step and work with the universe in unison, and everything will be revealed to you. Sometimes it's just a matter of taking that first step for you. So, transcend your mind's limitations. Absolutely, this is exactly what you're doing too. Because as you're moving out of that survival once and for all, that's part of this death too. Because there was an element, there was always a thread of survival. It came back and it was activated at certain times. Moving out of that energy into thriving means that you're moving on. You're acting on and moving out of and moving into a completely different level of existence, where you can truly shine. So those are the messages that we have for you today. So much amazing energy coming in from your ancestors. We are sending you so much love and so much support for where you are and who you are exactly right now, who you are and where you are right now in the world. So take care, and until we meet again, stay safe and sane, Pawan. Bye-bye. Hey, all you Pal Tours out there, if you chose the clear quartz, this is your reading. And again, we are working with the energy of the universe to channel what do your guides want to reveal about your future. So in Pal 1, we got who the guides were working with, who the guides were in and around Pal 1. Very, very exciting. So it's all about what you're ready to hear right now. So we have your oracle card starting off, and then we will move into tarot. So let's get right into your reading. Your first card is Forest and Breath. Beautiful. Then we have Completion. Gorgeousness. And then we have the Initiation, Rite of Passage, Crossing the Threshold. Wow, look at that. So there's an element of, we're always working with universal energy too. So there's an element of sort of a death of and moving forward into a brand new beginning with Pal 1. And this is all around you too, Pal 2. Absolutely wonderful. So there's new energy in and around you. If you see sort of imagine your lungs breathing in and filtering out energy, it's almost like your lungs are working exactly like the roots of trees. Keep seeing this for you. And it's breathing out the old. It's breathing in the old and letting out the new. And it's the way in which you work, your whole systems are working slightly different. So you might find that you're feeling a little heightened. And we don't want to freak you out or anything. I mean, most of you who are on this channel know that you're either channels or you're starseeds, or that you have gifts. and how you've developed them have been very different because these are general messages. But this understanding that you're coming to the heights of knowing who you are and how you're working with your energy, and you can sort of feel energy in and around you. And some of you might even feel as though you're being watched a little bit at times, especially when you catch yourself sort of looking in the mirror and moving around. You can see things at the corner of your eyes. You absolutely are working, let's say a lot of you are working sort of outside of different realms, which is really interesting, but you're also working in sort of the channeling realm. So you can see a lot of people don't realize that spirits are actually in and around us all the time. So when people talk about, portals and using Ouija boards and stuff, bear with me, the segue means something. Certain things act as portals, absolutely. But, there's other ways for entities and there's other ways for spirits to get in touch. They're constantly all around us. It's just that we shut that down. Not all of us get to shut it down, though. And for you, you've had the ability to sense beings in and around you. Don't worry, you're perfectly protected. You're absolutely protected. But you've also understood that you've shut that aspect of your personality down because there's been times that you didn't want to develop it, or maybe you're a little bit frightened of it, or maybe it felt a little overwhelming, or it's like, I want the clairaudience, but I don't want to see anything, and this, that, and the other. And all of that is perfectly reasonable. But what's coming in for you, what they're revealing about your future, is that everything that you've been through has brought you to this moment whereby you are now ready to move into and accept every aspect of your gifts that you've been given in this lifetime. Now, a lot of them are accumulation of ancestral gifts and also from past lives. This is not your first rodeo working with any of these gifts. And in fact, some of these gifts that were developed in previous past times, you were an expert in previous lifetimes coming in. And everything's coming together in this lifetime. So you have this kind of, this incredible sort of gift package going on at the same time. And at the same time, it's almost like you're saying goodbye to the person that you used to be. A lot of you are taking some time to look back, not in a way that you're over-focusing, but really realizing how different you really are. Now, we can all say this, I've been really different, like 18 months, And if we're growing, and if you're on the path of spirituality, most people can look back and say, oh my goodness, I really have grown. But you have grown so much that when you look back, you can kind of be embarrassed about some of those versions of yourself and for your personality, because they don't even remotely fit into who you are right now. It's almost like, who the hell was that person? Oh my goodness, I can't believe I did that. So, take it with a grain of salt, have a laugh over it. Obviously, don't worry about it. You were a completely different person in that. It's almost like a completely different lifetime. You've had several different lifetimes in this lifetime already, and you're about to start a new one. So, what they want you to reveal about your future is that, first of all, anything is possible. But this new breath of life coming in, as you're really pulling in these, and we don't want to say that they're new gifts. They're not new gifts, but they're developing at such an accelerated rate that if this had happened to you maybe 18 months before, you might have been a little overwhelmed. And there were times when they wanted to come in and you were like, no, not the right time. And that was totally fine too. Let's get you another card here. And I think Hecate she's been mentioned as a goddess recently. She's really around for people. Yeah, this love and compassion coming in. She's really around for people right now. So crossing the threshold for those of you who are feeling is that you really are coming into this new way of being. And it is brand new. So it's nothing that you are able to really compare with the old. Whereas before, when you were growing, you could kind of compare, I could see that in me before, but I wouldn't do that anymore. When you look back, you can't compare any of your old versions to where you are now. So have compassion for yourself and have love for all of those old versions, because you really needed all those old versions to be the version that you are now, obviously. But you're not exactly at these crossing roads necessarily, but Hecate could actually work with you in that way. Because some of you feel as though she's known for working with keys. If you want to work with her, there's lots of different ways to work with her, but as a suggestion to using old keys as an emblem of unlocking and moving forward. So she's mad about keys. So for you, this, it may feel as though you're at this point. If you're taking this reading on, and you're at this crossroads where you can sense that you're no longer the old person that you are, but you're moving forward into this brand new reality of who you are. And these gifts are coming in, so keep breathing them in. A lot of what will come to pass for you will be coming in sort of psychically. You'll be able to work really well, and you've been able to work with this with quite a bit of success at certain times, but it's not always been available to you because your gifts needed to come in and sort of integrate in the way to bring you to this powerful point. And when you're dumbing yourself down a little bit, which is again what you needed to do at that time, so there's no judgment, but when you're dumbing yourself down, you couldn't always call on those powers. But now they're integrated. So, your movement forward to get you something specific, your movement forward will definitely be, it will be in and around how you use your psychic powers and how you pull in the energy that you want. You're excellent visualizers. You can get what you want. Spellcasters, whatever you want to do. Spellcasting is just intention. It really is sort of a very specific type of law of attraction, working with your own energy and with nature. So let's see, it's all going to be sort of psychically related, how you move forward, and it's really fun. And again, we want you to have that area of fun moving forward. What do I want? Some of you are sort of bouncing around that, and that's perfectly fine. It's actually really fun. So, and for some of you, you're not sure exactly what you want, and you want to see what unfolds. That's absolutely wonderful. Whereas before, you kind of wanted to, it was important for you to, for some of you, it was important for you to understand where you were going before you set your foot down firmly into your sort of new beginning. But now you're like, I just don't really know. I have an idea, it's not completely unrelatable. I have an idea of what I want to do. I have my blueprint. I have the specifics of that. Let's just see where this goes, and that's an exciting place for you to be at. So you have the Knight of Cups. Again, we talked about this emotionality, these psychic gifts, moving forward in a brand new way, being able to master them. Before, it felt as though if you were repressing them, or some of you may have felt it was a burden. So it was sort of overwhelming in a way where the emotion sort of controlled you in a way. Now you're a master of the emotions. You can direct them out. That's why working with Hecate or working with whomever you want, whatever, your guides, but working in a very magical practice can bring about these beautiful, these new beginnings for you. And again, being able to pull in exactly what it is that you want. So you have a lot of power. Be careful what you wish for in the way is because you actually get it. So when we say be careful what you wish for, we say let's be specific. Be knowledgeable about what you're asking for, because that's what you're going to get. So keep breathing through this. You've absolutely got it. And it's a very, very exciting time. Now, for those of you who feel as though you've been in the void is a very exciting time because it's it can be a holding place, sometimes getting you ready for the next movement forward. But the light's coming in. You're moving out of that void. If you've been with me for a little while and you've been, there's sort of been a pattern of how we've been moving forward in the last couple of readings, even in the last like 3 or 4 recent readings, from being in the void, because this is also universal energy, collective energy going on too that we're influenced by. So the light is coming in. Now, for some of you, it's streaming in, and for some of you, it's coming in droves. Some of you, it's coming in little by little. It doesn't matter how it's coming in. It's coming in, and where the light shines, that's where you feel it. You feel it in your body, you feel it in your DNA, and that's where it becomes integrated and moving forward. So whatever you do in your future, without a shadow of a doubt, is working with your unique gifts and bringing them to the world. And it's to do with the empath and being sensitive. It's to do with psychic reality. It's to do with gathering power and also standing in your own right. Some of you, this may be just a message for some of you, so it might be a little bit strange, to bear with me. Some of you might even be working in finance or working with people to develop a confidence about being really, really successful in this lifetime. I see this it really is shifting, I believe. And we really need to stand by this for it to shift even more. But this idea that you have to have a vow of poverty if you're in spiritual gifts, coaching or whatever it is that you do, you shouldn't charge money, or you should keep it low, and this, that, and the other. And I always try to do that. But at the same time, I do understand that, I think what you'll be doing specifically, because this reading is not about me, what you will be doing specifically is to teach people be in their power, and to really reflect and claim what it is that they're worth, working with business, helping people set up a spiritual business. And this is something that you'll be able to do by claiming what it is that they're worth. No, don't charge that, charge this, and really not letting people away with downplaying their gifts in any way, shape, or form. This is what you'll be doing for yourself. This is what you'll be doing for other people. So you might be working with people, managing money one way or another, or teaching people to step into their vibration of money. This is something that you've had to work with exponentially, Paul, to your relationship with money, because this is something that's been brought down from past lives, and also in your DNA. It's also there programmed through your ancestors too, that not to expect too much, or that everything is very, very difficult. And the other thing that's been for a lot of you, the programming is, if you do get successful, it will be taken away. So that's a huge program for a lot of you, because you know that you can be successful. You've got it within you to be successful, but then somebody will take it away and say you don't deserve it. So that's programming that you've had to work through. So this is real specific sort of in money and finances and gathering your power that way, something that you'll be doing yourself and then helping others do that. Maybe a coaching business. That's just maybe a message for some of you. If it doesn't resonate with all of you, that's fine. But wanted to give you that message for some of you. So this completion, moving into the sun energy, this gorgeous sun energy of this absolute freedom to move in any direction that you want. And again, this very, very powerful energy of bringing in what it is that you want. And what it is that you want is not a small measure, Paul, too. You didn't come here to play small. You may have played small in the past, but that was all strategic in a way, because even in the playing small, you were still working on yourself, and you were still doing that. You just knew there was a timing element. You weren't really ready to go da-da yet, but when you were ready to do that, when you are ready to do that, you wanted all your ducks in a row, you wanted to be healed, you wanted that strong foundation. So you can move in any direction, and pulling in a lot of powerful people in and around you. You have this gift of being able to charm people. Now, some people actually might be taken back by you because they think that you're manipulative, and you might have been accused of this before. Now, we don't want to say that you were manipulative, but you definitely knew how to play people at some times. But you have this charming energy about you, and people just want to either take a chance on you or help you out, support you in a way. They're very intrigued by you. And what you have this chameleon-like energy, and sometimes in the past that's gone against you, because even though you're brilliant at what you do, you can create sort of atmosphere and really have different kinds of people in and around you, and charm different kinds of people, from all aspects of life, which is kind of rare. So people like to stay in their box a lot, and this is who I am, and I'm around people who are like me, and this, that, and the other. I think this is changing now, but you've been completely the opposite. So you can charm people from all areas of life, because you allow people to be who they are. So there's powerful people that you will be in and around who will want to help you, and who will sort of pull you out of places and give you a chance to do things. But and people will say to you, and they may have said this to you already to a certain extent, I don't even know how you land on your feet the way that you do, and that's because you have that energy. You do have that energy where there's a certain amount of power that comes in and around you and supports you in that way. That energy is going to be very pronounced as you move into this new beginning. So as we said, with Pile 1, a lot of things are happening off stage, but for you, there's a lot of powerful stuff that's happening. But as you move in, so as we said, you're working in and around people who can really sort of lift you up and help you and support you. And whereas before you had this thing where I'm just going to do this myself, but secretly hoping that somebody would sort of help you. It's been very difficult for you to ask for help in the past, but you've opened up to that, and you've started doing that. But this is like that real balance of like, all right, this is not necessarily help. This is a step up, and I'm going to take it. I'm worth it. I'm worth taking that step up. I don't need to do this all on my own. All of the work that you've been doing, sort of as we said in part 1, off camera, you've been doing to heal and create that power within yourself. So you're not starting at zero here. So when people want to give you a leg up, you're absolutely ready for that leg to move into that new way of being. So when people have said to you in the past, I don't know how you do this, it's that energy, and that's going to become very powerful and palpable as you move forward. So a lot of this is happening sort of off camera, but it is happening as you come out of this completion mode. You can go in any direction, that confidence, that vitality, that brilliance, and it is backed up with an absolute, pardon my French, but an absolute shitload of talent, which you have. You've used in various different ways. Sometimes you've used your talent in such a ways and it's gone off in so many different directions that the energy of it's worn out because it's going off in different directions. So it's not been able to ground. You're starting this, doing that, that didn't work out. We're doing this, we're doing that. And that could be kind of frustrating for you and exciting at the same time. And maybe you thought to yourself, maybe I have a problem with having a problem with commitment because I've got so many different things going on. But it was a way for you to heal. That's how your soul healed and tried to figure out and grow by doing many, many different things. But all of those experiences can come together and move you forward in such a way that whatever it is that you do, you will be in a leadership role. And each one of you, these are general readings. We can't say for each one of you specifically what you will do, but you will be in a leadership role. It will be some kind of psychic remnants, whether even if you're not teaching the finances, you're not teaching in the spiritual community, you'll be using those gifts to move forward and charm the hell out of people to get what you want. And there's nothing wrong with that if you can back it up, and you can, so go for it. So you've got temperance, absolutely, with the initiation. And that's a beautiful part of it. So people trust you. You really don't have now you could do it if you wanted to. You have the power. You could manipulate if you wanted to, and that's how you can see it in other people. When people are manipulating other people, it bugs you so to your core. It makes you so angry. It makes like your soul and your heart shake, because you can see it in other people, because you are capable of doing it. You choose not to do it, but you're capable of doing it because you're extremely powerful. And with a certain amount of power, and with a lot of power, a certain amount to a lot amount of power, comes integrity, right? If you don't have that integrity, you can go in any different way. Look at what's happening in the world right now with people with power. It doesn't necessarily mean they're going to use it in the right way, right? But you're aware of that. You have that power. You were born with that power. You were very powerful. You were leaders in past lives. You're going to be a leader in this life if you're not already. Even if you are, you're going to take it up to the next level. So this temperance here coming in, of really understanding how that power works. And you've really taken apart power for what it is, and you know that all of that other side of the manipulation and that darker side to power is not where your heart lies. It's not what you're here to do, to have the love and compassion. And you may have tried on that powerful side of you before. I've done a little about that manipulation to see what you can get away with. You only would have done it with people that kind of, for want of a better term for clarity, deserve it. You wouldn't have messed with people who don't, but you may have flirted with that a little bit. But so you understand the inner workings of it. You pulled it apart. You know how it works. That's how you can see it in other people. So that's something that you also might be working with too. Injustice. You cannot stand it. It boils your blood, because you can see how people can be capable of doing that and instigating that against somebody else. And it's something that you absolutely understand within yourself, but you won't go there. You won't go there. You refuse to go there. And sometimes it's a day, it's a day-to-day decision where I'm not going to do that. I'm not, because you have that power. You could go in that direction, and you would have gotten further and had a completely different life, whether, if you not caved in, but if you had sort of worked in different ways and let yourself go in that direction. But you didn't want to, and you didn't. So you've got the Seven of Swords here too, with love and compassion. And this is part of this too. We're going to pull one more for you. Not fighting within yourself, and just, again, all of this coming into fruition. Yeah, absolutely. I knew there was another one coming in. So you're coming from the Seven of Wands energy into that Ace of Wands, of that passion and beauty, standing for who you are. We put it over the Temperance card with that love and compassion. So all of that, and there's no good or bad. What you've been doing is working with the darkness. You understand that, and pulling that, and that's why you can see the darkness in everybody and how they work. You really, really can. You can break it down for people. So people can feel quite uncomfortable about you, because as you're talking, as they're talking to you, you're like, and you're really seeing everything that's going on. And they kind of know that you know, and it's making them feel uncomfortable, even if they don't, even if it's a subconscious thing going on, it's sort of a repelling thing going on. So, in the past, when everything got you nuts, all this injustice and everything, you're like, I want to fight this, I want to do this. And there's nothing wrong with that energy, but it's just the rebelling part keeps you part of the energy. You've now decided that in that love and compassion, you can pull all aspects of yourself, have that powerful manifestation of self, and move forward in the way that you want to, with this confidence, with all these people that want to come in and in and around you and working with you. Now, this also could have just started happening. And, there's pockets of your time and your lifetime and your timelines where this has already happened already, where people out of nowhere like gave you things, or, I'm going to rent this house to you. I mean, and others were like, what? You just got, that's crazy. I've been looking for this for, 2 weeks, and you just came in and, so there's pockets of times where this has happened to you. So this shouldn't be a surprise that you'll be able to do that and pull this in and move and really step it up, though, and have this passion, and instead resisting, you're pulling everything to you and allowing everything to be what it is, and then moving up on the timeline. So this is you moving into this gorgeous time and energy. So again, anything is possible for you. Let's get you some Starseeds cards here. Gorgeousness, really beautiful time. And you can sense that power within you, and sometimes you didn't always feel very powerful, but you always were. So being able to integrate all of that power to move forward is going to feel great. Creation. Being creative is a wonderful way of witnessing the unfolding of your limitless creative soul. So as we said, some of you might be doing creative elements, working within business and finance, whatever it is, psychic abilities. And that's the thing, it would make you great writers, amazing artists, because you understand the human psyche. You've been there. You understand power, how it works, the good and the dark. Not in a way where any one of it's good or bad, not in a polarizing way, but whatever it is that you're coming into, if you are creators, you're creating your own life at any moment anyway, but whatever you're creating, it's going to have this real depth, this real beauty. And even if you go back to past projects that need to be completed or need a little extra work, you'll find that the way in which you work with it now, it's a new layer, a new extra layer of depth. It's almost like your psychic ability is so strong that how do you know what I was thinking? How do you know when you write something and people read your work? How do you know what I was thinking? I mean, your creativity can heal, and it will do. So for all you creative types out there, live your truth and share the love that's in your soul. And we're going to put that with love and compassion here. This is a decision that you made your entire life to live in the light, but this is a decision that you made recently that's very important, where you're no longer resisting, you're now bringing in the love and pulling yourself up to that next level. It's absolutely a game changer for you. It's putting you in the light and putting you in a decision where you can go in any direction. So as we said before, Hecate keeps coming up. If you want to work with her, that key is something that you can work with too. Love working with keys, but open that new door for you to move in any direction. So that's what we have for you, Pal 2. We sincerely hope it resonated. We're sending you so much love and support for exactly where you are and who you are right now. Please stay safe and sane. And until we meet again, take care. Bye-bye. Hello, all you lovely Pal 3s. If you chose, I was going to say the amethyst, but that was Pal 1. If you chose this grounding tiger's eye, then this is your reading. Again, what do your guides want to reveal about your future? We will reveal what you are ready to hear right now. We're going to start off with some oracle cards, move into the tarot. Let's get right into your reading. So your first card is a lotus flower. Beautiful unfoldment. Love that image. And then we have self-worth. Here is your second card. It's a beautiful card too. And then a shaka. Akasha, sorry. I was thinking about something else. Akasha, your guidance is divinely guided. Absolutely wonderful. Let's see if you can see that. So a few different things going on for you. So the lotus flower grows in the roots of mud. So again, we always say 1, 2, and 3. There's always like a red thread all the way through, and we are reading this at the time when there's universal energy and there's collective energy out there at the same time. So moving into your own power. But for you, this has been a real journey. And the journey for you has been how you react to your life. And, you know, just being completely honest, like a little bit of real talk, pile 3. There's a reactive element to you and then letting things happen. Now, the reactive element needed to be there because there was a certain amount of protection that needed to happen for you in and around you. You needed to protect yourself. And also the lotus flower, you know, as your roots, so much was happening under the surface for you. Almost for some of you can look as though you're quite stoic, but there's so much going on under the surface. And, you know, a lot of what you've done has been sort of off camera, as a phrase that's come up both in pile 1 and pile 2, you know, sort of off camera. So not everybody will be able to sort of tell what kind of person that you are, and that can really intimidate people sometimes, you know. And you have a certain amount of quiet, understated power, even though some of you can be quite loud at times, even though you're really gregarious and all of that. But this is really about you being very clear about what it is that you want. And we want to get you one more here. What it is that you want, and allowing this energy to come in and around you to guide you further. Your guides want you to know, fairies, earth magic, yeah, they want you to know to use your magic to move you forward. Some of you, when you move forward, you've been a little bit disappointed, like 5 steps forward, 2 steps backwards, this, that, and the other, kind of like a dance. But you've not really been dancing. What you've been doing is you've just been getting out there, strutting your moves, right? And the universe is like, okay, we see you, you know. But what you're learning now is this dance, this beautiful dance of really understanding who you are and what it really takes to create the life that you want. It's not that you're not talented. It's not that you're not powerful. You have all of those things. But it's all about the dance, the timing, the nuance, the beauty, and really incorporating that lighter part of you where, like, you know, the fairy, the elemental part of you, that magical part of you that brings in more magic into your life. So this is where you are right now. There's the second chakra that you've been working on to, second and third chakra here. That you've been, the I am chakra, the sacral chakra that you've been working to clear out. This is something that's coming up for, this is not necessarily a message for all of you, but that's something, particularly if you're female and listening to this, this is a chakra that you've been working to clear out. Old memories, old lovers, all of those old times, which is really important to have a clear way forward. So, and from that, you've been realizing that as you clear out this old energy, this new vibrancy is coming in and this new attitude's coming in, and it's really spunky and spicy, and it's really beautiful, right? Because unfortunately, pile 3, you seem to have had a little bit of a habit whereby, I'm going to move these so it's not so much of a glare, a little bit. You seem to have a little bit of a habit, particularly with those that you spent intimate times with, for some of you, that whoever you were with didn't necessarily deserve you, which is, you know, just being blunt for clarity's sake. You know, this is a small reading, getting everything in there, getting you as much information as possible. They didn't really deserve you. In some ways, you had to dumb yourself down to be with them. And what this happened as you kept doing this with, there was an energy that created in that chakra that almost had this sort of film of, I'm not good enough. Now, it wasn't true, and you didn't necessarily believe it, but when you have so much energy in and around you telling you the same thing, your mind takes on this energy of, oh, well, you know, because it's systematic. Well, you know, all right, I don't really believe this, but if the external world, or if I'm being mirrored this energy all the time, and everybody in actions, the way that they treat me are telling me this, maybe there's some kind of truth to it. So there's subconscious energy that you were working through there, and as you were releasing the oldness, completely the oldness, there's this new legacy of self-worth coming in for you, and realizing why you were with these people too, and why you continue to want to be seen by people who couldn't even see themselves. So this is coming back to you wanting to be seen on your own terms, you doing this for yourself. Sorry if you can hear my cat in the background. She likes to have a little freak out about 3 a.m., which is when I'm doing this reading. So she speaks to her own energies at 3 a.m. She has her own guides, so we don't get involved in that. So, yeah, so this lightness that's coming in for you, that's absolutely gorgeous, moving you in a direction on your path with this very firm self-worth, and also this experience of energy of everything that you've been through. Now, some of you haven't had necessarily, terrible, or you haven't had like terribly negative past loves, and that's fine. But the other thing for some of you is that you've had one love or two loves that were absolutely amazing, and then you've never really gone back to seek out more heartfelt center, because you've already had those loves. So you had that love, I don't need to seek it anymore, I couldn't get any better, or or you held yourself away from love. So it was either sort of one or the other. You really had the beauty and you held yourself away from love. So for you, the second chakra, the third chakra, moving out and clearing that all out is to keep the memories, of course, of those beautiful loves that you had, but also open yourself up to this new love. And in that, you have that self-worth. I deserve love. I deserve love now. I don't need to hold on to the past in that. There's more out there for me. So it's kind of either or. A lot of elemental and beautiful energy for you. So let's get you some actual, I was going to say evidence. Evidential. You need evidence, do you, pal? That's the kind of person you are. I love that. Nothing wrong with testing your environment and people around you. If that's what you need to do, do it. So let's see if we can get you any more specifics here with the tarot. I'm not feeling that one. And I'm getting called to turn this on its sides. Oh, yeah. On the bottom here, the Queen of Cups. Let's move this up just a little bit so we can have a little bit more room. The Queen of Cups coming into your reign, absolutely. This beautiful emotionality, everything that you've been through too. And also, accepting all of those past fails too. A lot of you in the past have been quite, how do we say, hard on yourself one way or another, because even though you realize on a very basic level, you totally understand, have integrated the concept of you have to be able to fail at something before you can get better. For some reason, when you do things and you have fallen on your face a little bit in the past, you've been really hard on yourself. However, if somebody comes to you and says, this is what's happened, I can't believe I did this, you would be the first person to say, hey kiddo, you went out there and you tried it. That's kind of amazing, right? So coming back into this allowance of letting yourself sort of fail, not being so hard on yourself, letting this, all of this beauty come in and around you so you can move forward, and also gathering help is something that's going to be happening for you too. It's like you're building momentum, you're ready to take off, you're ready to do this, and as you're building momentum, you're being very careful about the energy that's in and around you, as you should be. But you've got this beautiful magical energy coming in, and it really is this light-filled energy that's really sort of in some ways chaotic but beautiful, and sort of moving in every direction. And that's kind of a little bit of your personality too, a little bit all over the place, but also really direct and firm. And you've got these two dichotomies of your personality that you're able to come in, and you've been merging together, which creates this new way forward and this really beautiful way of being in the world. Let's see what we have here. Ooh, the Chariot. Gorgeousness. Without a shadow of a doubt, you're moving forward, and you're moving forward with clarity, with something that you want. Now, most of you, of course, these are general readings, most of you know exactly what that is, and you are ready to move forward and do that. You are ready to go get it. So for some of it, it's financial, applying for that loan, whatever it is you need to do to move it forward. I'm hearing capital. So whatever capital means to you, for me, it's usually finances, but it might mean something slightly to you. But it's getting those firm foundations of moving forward and being in the world the way that you want to be. But it's hurtling forward. And again, you're at the reins, ready to do this, and you are feeling as though you're absolutely ready. In the past, you might have had conversations with the universe, and you've said, I'm ready to do this, I'm ready to do this. And you have these moments, maybe with a glass of wine, and it's done out of this moment of I need help rather than I can do this. And then the universe listened, and then you went off and did something else that might have been counterproductive or counterintuitive to what you actually wanted. And that's fine. There's a divine element, timing, to where you are and who you are, and this is your timing. This is your timing to move forward. And that's where you were. It's not like, you lost sight of what you wanted. It's just that you didn't always know how to actualize it. You didn't know how to keep that confidence up constantly. But this is part of the self-worth element as you've been taking all that experience and realizing that you've lived probably 4 or 5 lifetimes in this lifetime already. You're such an old soul. So as you move forward with confidence with the Chariot, there's nothing more for you to do to be on top of where you need to be and to reach that next plateau. In fact, you will learn as you move up the ladder. So what do we have under self-worth? You've got justice, absolutely, with self-worth. So a lot of it was a lot of what you'll be doing in different ways, and we'll just give you the sort of the crux of it, and how you individually work with that will, of course, will differ for each one of you. But the way in which you've been treated before in the world, you're able to really break that down and see how people treat each other and how they sort of prey on each other in a way. And that's why you're always for the underdog. You're all about justice and how people use privilege and this, that, and the other. So whether you'll be working within sociology, whether you'll be a counselor, whether you'll be working within the arts, you're going to be bringing this out and shining a light on it. And not only that, the way in which that you've been in the world and you've been able to see so many different aspects of life, you'll be able to come up with this really intuitive ways of moving forward. So you're not just shining a light on what needs to be changed. You're taking it one step further. You're saying, this is what we could do to solve it. This is what we could do to reach in and pull ourselves out of it. Now, you'll be able to do this on a one-to-one method with people, and you'll be doing this sort of more of a global way. So the easiest way that I can see it, I'm seeing, is you writing a book. It's personal. Somebody picks it up. It changed somebody's life. It's, your words, that person. But then it works on a global way. So whether you are working sort of one-on-one as a counselor, for instance, but then you do a TED Talk and you reach, millions of people. Whatever you do it on one level and then you do it globally. So, and it's definitely to do with the justice, but again, pulling down how people have treated each other and how it is. For instance, this idea that, again, these are really specific ideas, but how they work within the framework of who you are might be slightly different. But the idea of addicts, people looking down on addicts, but there are reasons why people go into addiction, and people have been told certain things so they don't believe in themselves, they go into addiction. How can we unravel that? How can we not just cure the addiction, but actually go in and cure the person, complete them and tell them what they should have been told, and how and be there for them and treat them the way that they should have been treated. So they didn't move into addiction, even if they had addictive personalities. So it's all to get to the roots of all of that. Just some very specific ideas of how this may work, again, on a microcosm and on a macrocosm. So underneath fairies, we have the Four of Swords coming in, and then we also have the Emperor. So you have the way in which you want to move forward is this gorgeous energy of really relying on your intuition. So this is divine, and I keep hearing divine madness, right? For you, Paul 3, keep hearing divine madness. This gorgeousness. I want to pull one more too. This gorgeousness of divine madness, where you can just reach into sort of the bags of tricks of life and pull out what it is that you want. This really exciting modality of moving forward the way that you want to, without really having an idea of what that's going to look like. So you have the Five of Pentacles, and let's get you one more too. And you have the Ten of Pentacles. So before, in a way, the way in which you've worked, and you've got the Fool, so you've got this new beginning. Yeah, absolutely wonderful. So in the way before, it's this always keeping your experiential energy with you. And again, the way in which people treated you, you used as a sort of a nugget of wisdom, or you used as a way for you to decipher how you should be treated or who you really were. So those projections upon you, the way in which you were treated, you systematically kind of pulled yourself down, which is totally fair enough. If you get treated a certain way, what is it, that old thing? I think it's that line from a movie. If people tell you that that you're not good enough your whole life, sooner or later you start to believe them, right? So you're moving out of this energy, and what you've done with this lotus flower is really understanding that you've grown from the roots of the mud, which is absolutely beautiful. You're clearing out that experiential energy, all of that energy that's coming before, all of those projections, and it's left you with this light magic and this beauty, but it's also left you with this real power and this passion for justice and beauty and making sure that people aren't treated like this anymore. And also, but you know, and that's the other thing, sometimes you get so passionate moving forward with this kinetic energy, you can just kind of move in the wrong direction a little bit, or you trip up your own over your own words, or you get very emotional about people injustice, and it's the wrong time and you don't feel powerful, and it's just it's missed the mark a little bit, which is totally understandable. So when you're coming in, it's really about this emotionality that you have, claiming everything that's been done to you and everything that you are, and claiming in such a new way that you really have that energy that comes with you, and it's incorporated, so you can rely on yourself now, and you can give yourself that nurturing energy that you were looking for in the external. And in that nurturing energy comes this really beautiful sort of passionate guide within yourself. You're working with the energy of the universe, and you know when it's the time to step forward. You know when it's the timing element, when to say something. Now when you say something, you're not overly emotional, it's very articulate, it's beautiful, it can be passionate too. And when you are really passionate and you express yourself in a way, when you're giving it to somebody, you're like, I'm done. Da, 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 da. It doesn't happen that often, but when you do, you really do. The way in which you speak, it's edgy. It cuts to right to what people need to hear, and people listen. People absolutely listen. And it's this really majestic energy that you have. It's sort of a masculine energy, but it's very, very powerful. But with this energy of the elemental and the divine feminine coming in, it's this exact balance of knowing that anything is available to you. You have all of these beautiful traits moving in any different direction, as we say on this channel, moving spherically in any direction, instead of just one direction, focused on one thing. Always saying to the universe, this is what I want. But if you think that, if you want to give me something better, I'm open to that too. So whatever it is that you do will be a success. We gave you some really specific ideas, but that's for you to pick apart and feel as though what works for you. But the main thing is that you're moving forward with this real integrity now, and with this new level of self-confidence, and also wearing your narrative with honor. In the past, you've hidden a lot of where you've come from and what you've done, and because it was painful for you, and you didn't believe it was anybody else's business. You don't feel as though you need to talk about every aspect of your life like some people do, and that's totally fine. Some people are an open book. I find that very attractive. Some people don't. You were in certain circumstances, but in many ways you were not. But the way in which you've healed now is that you wear everything sort of on your sleeve now without even having to talk about it, because you've integrated all of those energies, and they've served as a catalyst for true and deep healing. Hence the lotus flower and the unfoldment. And what that's given you now is this immense confidence of knowing that you've been through so much, and you've still survived, and you know who you are. You can give that pleasure and that power to other people of just being in the world. No, I've survived this, I've done this, and come out not just the other end as survivor, but coming out thriving, being beautiful, still having that gorgeousness about you, still having that compassion, that beauty. Nothing broke you, and actually it did break you. You let yourself fall apart and break apart, and you came back together even more powerful. So this brand new beginning, whatever it is that you do with this Ten of Pentacles moving forward, it's definitely going to set the stage for, again, the personal, the interpersonal, and the global, working on many different levels. And that includes coming forward and working with other people. You'll be working very specifically with a lot of different communities, building communities and working within groups of people who understand and see you. But whatever it is, this Chariot moving on, and just this gorgeous sense of moving on, nothing can stop you. And no one's not even anyone's going to try and stop you, and just got this vision of moving forward, which is really funny. And you know, the chariot. People are trying to run along the chariot and catch onto your coattails, but you're moving so fast that they can't do it. And it's not that you're moving so fast that you're missing anything. Quite the contrary. You're making up for lost time. Wherever you go, it'll be directed in the right direction. You're not going to move in a direction that's just going to hold you up, or it's not going to be successful. You're not doing that anymore. This is your time to move forward with integrity, listening to your intuition. Again, it's very, very important. Talent is wonderful in this world, of course, and knowing your work, knowing how to move forward, and having integrity and learning your craft. All of that, of course, is very important. But if we do not move forward with intention, if we're not moving forward without the alignment, then the action falls flat. And this is something that you've done constantly. You have that kinetic energy. You have no problem with action whatsoever. In fact, you've often acted without it being in alignment before, and that's why things have fallen apart. You don't do that anymore. That's why you listen to your intuition. You move forward when you feel like it's the right time to do it. You're living from your heart. This opens up a new way of being in the world. All it takes is one baby step in the alignment mode, and then everything opens up for you, rather than forcing and moving and moving and moving and just doing the action and doing the action. Yeah, you're kind of moving forward, but eventually it falls flat. So let's see what we have. So many different directions you can move in. And of course, it'll mean something different for each and every one of you. So this popped out, blue star. Follow the light of your inner compass, the blue star. It will lead you to truth that resides within your soul. Absolutely, that's what we said. Using your inner compass, your intuition to move forward. The Fool card is there. You can't go wrong. You have this new beginning. You have this beautiful lotus flower. You might even want to use that as an icon, maybe on your phone, or get a necklace or something, have it around your heart, or just meditate with the icon of the lotus flower, because that really does represent you right now, without a shadow of a doubt. So trusting yourself and working with the universe once again. Inner alchemy, look at that. Inner alchemy is achieved when you react to fear with love. Absolutely. And that's something that you've been doing, choosing love over fear without a shadow of a doubt. But that inner alchemy that we've been talking about too, is working from within, choosing everything that you've been through and seeing it as the narrative that you've been through, and claiming that narrative as something that you've almost like a war wound. All right, I've come out of this, but I've done this. If I can do it, you can do it. And that's what you're going to be doing for other people, showing them that you can have a beautiful, beautiful heart, even when it's been broken into 1,000 pieces. So that's what we have for you, Pile 3. Absolutely amazing. All you gorgeous counselors, gorgeousness, and whatever else, creative, whatever else that you're going to do to go out and change the world. Of course, we are sending you love and support for exactly who you are and where you are right now in the world. And until we meet again, please stay safe and sane. That's important. Take care. Bye-bye.